friends, welcome to our Creativity Club. I'm Meredith Hahn-Petrovic, and I'm a product developer at Faber-Castell USA Creativity for Kids. A few notes about today. I can't hear or see you, so if you have any questions, please put them in the question box or click the question mark at the bottom. Occasionally, I will ask for your input, so you may see a Vote Here box appear on your screen. This will be recorded, so if you miss a part, no worries, you can catch it later. All right, let's have fun. Hi, everybody. Thank you for joining us. Today, we are looking at our Hide and Seek Rock Painting Kit by Creativity for Kids. So this is a wonderful kit. There's everything you need inside this box. So let's open it up and see what we've got. Okay, so we have a lot of fun stuff in this bag. We'll open it up and check it out. Some paint. Our rocks. Ooh, wow, we have some really nice sized rocks in here. So let's see. We can open up our rocks. Ooh, look at this huge one. It's really nice and big with lots of textures on it. We'll put that aside. And we have some nice smooth rocks. Now these rocks are all natural. So before we begin painting them, we do recommend that you wipe them off with a damp paper towel, or you can even run them under some water to get some of the dust off. So, and we'll put these aside for later. All right, we have our paint. Now this paint is really special. It goes on our rocks and seals up nicely, so you can leave them outside and they won't get too damaged. So if it rains or something, this paint will stay on the rocks instead of sliding off. So it's just like acrylic paint, but with a little something special inside to help with the weather. And in this bag, we have our fun foil transfers. Ooh, look at how shiny they are. And I'll show you how to use these a little later. I'll put those up there for now. This is our sponge, which we'll use with our transfers. And then you have all of these other transfers with fun words and little symbols, a rainbow, a turtle, some stars. And over here we have some little animal friends, a raccoon, a little owl, a puppy, a kitty, a shark, a dino. So we'll get to those as well. Put them up here for now. And then these are our Creativity for Kids stickers that once you're done painting your rock, you can flip your rock over and add one of these stickers. So when you do hide it outside in nature or in your neighborhood or in the park or something, someone can find it and then they can go on our website, on our Instagram or Facebook page, and they can post where they found this rock. And you can see where other people have found rocks as well. So those we'll put on last. Okay, we have a fine tip brush for nice fine details. And then we have our broad tip brush for doing all of our big painting when you're painting big areas. And of course, we have our handy dandy instructions. All right, so let's start. Cover your work surface with newspaper and have a cup of water and paper towels handy. So if you don't have your water and paper towels handy, go ahead and go grab those. You might also want to grab a pencil like this, and that will help when it's time to design what we're painting on our rocks. Wear a smock or old clothes. This paint may stain fabrics, furniture, and other surfaces. Clean up any spills immediately while the paint is still wet. Paint can settle and separate over time, so you'll want to mix each color thoroughly before you use them. When you do want to change colors, just rinse and dry your brush. All right, so let's go ahead and start. Now, like I mentioned, we do want to wipe off our rocks. So you can just dip your paper towel in your water and just wipe off the surface of your rock. You can see it's a little dusty. There we go. Now, when you're wiping off your rocks, take note as to what shape they are. Oftentimes, it's really cool to use the shape of your rock to inspire what you want to paint on your rock. And today we're focusing on Easter rocks. So we want to look at the shape of our rocks to see what might look like a bunny, or maybe an Easter egg, or a good shaped rock to make a flower on, or let's see, what else is Easter or springtime? Maybe a little butterfly or a caterpillar. We have a lot of different options. Okay, so we'll put this to the side, and I like to put all of my painting materials on my right hand side because I'm right-handed. So it just makes it a little bit easier. So I'm not reaching across in order to paint my rocks. So let's go ahead. Now, here's our broad brush. We're going to use that first, and we're going to go ahead and put a layer of white on our rocks. Now, why we're putting white paint on our rocks first is so the other colors will pop on top of the white. Sometimes you might get a white rock, and then you probably don't have to paint the rock white because it's already a nice light color. Now, while you're painting your rocks, you might get some paint on your fingers, and that's okay. Just use soap and water when you're all done, and it'll come right off. Okay, and we'll just put this one down to dry. Oh, and I did this kind of quickly, but when you open up your paint, you can mix it around. Just like we said in the instructions, some of the paint might settle a little bit, so you might see a little bit of liquid on top of it. So just mix it in and it'll be all ready to use. Okay. So here's our second rock. Put a nice layer of white. Now while we're painting our white, our base layer, I want you guys to think about what you'd like to paint that's either Easter related or spring related. Let's start thinking about what kind of flowers come up in the spring. I think tulips and daffodils. Oh, and there's a special little flower where I live. It's called a snowdrop. And it's actually the first flower that you see when the snow starts to melt. There we go. And then we have one more. Oh yeah, and then we have the large rock too. That is one heck of a big rock. but it's really good to have a variety of sizes of rocks so you can paint all different things. Okay, there we go. And then you, whoa. This one kind of looks like a bunny already, like a small bunny rabbit in my hand. And as I paint it, you can kind of see all the different texture on it, which is pretty neat. Now he's going to take a lot of paint. This one will be really cool to hide and then for someone to find. Okay, here we go. Almost done. And I think that's good for now. And we'll let some of that texture show because it is really neat. Okay, so I see a question come up here. How long does it take for the paint to dry? It only takes a couple minutes. It depends on how thick you put the paint on the rock, but usually it only takes a couple minutes. So by the time you're done painting the white on your rocks, I'd give it another 60 seconds or another 2 minutes, and then we can start putting our other colors and our designs on top of the white. So we'll go ahead and rinse out our brush. I'll grab another paper towel here, which will be handy to dry our brush. Move him over. There we go. All right. So let's see, what should I have some examples here, some springtime Easter rocks that we've done in the past. So we have, this one looks like Peeps, the little bunny marshmallow candy that you can usually find in the grocery store. We have a beautiful sunshine. We have a cute little caterpillar. Very cute. I have rainbow. And here are some examples of Easter eggs. So very fun. Easter eggs are really fun to make because they have a lot of different patterns that you can use. And maybe that's what we start off with. I think it would be fun to start off with an Easter egg. So this rock here, actually both of these rocks look like they'll be perfect for Easter eggs. So they are all dry. So it only took a couple minutes for our white layer to dry. So let's take a look at our colors here. We have white, purple, yellow, orange, blue, green, black, and red. I think I'd like to start with a yellow egg and then add some decorations on it to make it look like an Easter egg. So since we're going to be covering the entire rock with paint, we're going to use our broad brush again, and we'll mix up our paint. And here we go. Put a nice layer of yellow. So this one will be really easy to find when you hide it because it'll be nice and bright. So we'll make that one yellow, and the other one, I think maybe we make that one orange. And once you mix up your paint, you don't have to really mix it up again unless you put it away and leave it sit for a couple days. You might have to mix it again after that. Here we go. It really is so easy and quick to do. I think that's why painting rocks is so popular, because anyone can do it, and they always turn out so creative and so cute to look at, and it's always so fun to find them. So it really is an art and craft that you can do at any time with your friends and your family or by yourself. Okay, so we'll let those dry. Those will be our Easter eggs. And let's see, I would love to do a little Easter bunny. Let's see, which one of these should I do? Oh yeah, we said this guy. So I think I'll do this one as our Easter bunny. And my Easter bunny, I'm going to make, what color should I make our Easter bunny? I think I'll make him light blue. So in order to make light blue, we're going to have to mix two colors of paint together. But before we do that, let's go ahead and draw out our Easter bunny. So this is where we need our pencil. And all you have to do is you start with a circle. Now you might not be able to see this on my rock because the pencil is kind of gray. But you start with a circle for the Easter bunny's face. And then you can give your Easter bunny super long ears or just medium long ears. I'm just giving mine medium long ears. And then we want a circle for our Easter bunny's belly. And then we need some arms and legs. Again, this will be a little difficult for you to see, but in general, we are using shapes, simple shapes, to create a drawing of what our Easter bunny looks like. Okay, so now that we've drawn that out, it's time to mix some paint. And we'll just use our extra piece of paper towel to mix on. But you could use like a paper plate or a dish that you don't mind washing off. But what you want to do is take the white and put a scoop of white onto your area that you're going to mix your paint. Sometimes we call that a palette. So I'm using my paper towel as my palette. And we don't want to get white inside of our blue paint, so we'll wash off our paintbrush. We'll mix up our blue a little bit. Now we can add blue to our white. And you just swirl it around, mix it nicely like that. Okay. And now we have a light blue. So you can see, here's our dark blue, and here's our light blue. So it's very simple. All right, and I'm going to close our paint up just so I don't spill it anywhere. Okay, let's paint our bunny, our Easter bunny. We're going to paint our circle face, a little circle head. There we go. And our circle for the body. And if you don't want to use circles, you can make your Easter bunny with ovals, or you can make your Easter bunny with squares if you want. I've never seen an Easter bunny made out of squares, but that might be really fun to see. So we have our head and our body. And we said we made our ears like that. Here's one. Like that. There's two. Now we need our Easter bunny's arm and the other arm. Our leg Our Easter Bunny has nice strong legs, so he can get from house to house dropping off Easter eggs. There we go. Now we'll let this one dry, and then we'll add some details to it so it looks a little bit more like an Easter Bunny and a little less like a lot of blue on top of the rock. We'll put this to the side for now. Okay, so let's go ahead and add some fun patterns to our first Easter egg. Now you can see here I have some stripes and polka dots and some zigzaggy lines. So let's go ahead and choose a color. I think I'll go with white first. Now since we're going to do some details, I'm going to use our fine tip brush. Now our fine tip brush, you might want to rinse it off in the water a little bit. In order to keep it fine tip, sometimes we put a little bit of glue on it just to keep all the bristles nice in together. So if your bristles are sticking a little too much together, just wash them off in the water, and you can just use your fingers and kind of squeeze the water out and reshape your tip so it's nice and pointy like that. Okay, so we're going to use the white, and let's put some stripes on here first. So we'll go right across the bottom, just like that. And right in the center, like that. And at the top. Perfect. Okay, now I'm going to use our purple, and I'm going to do some, let's see, I'll do some polka dots with the purple. And I'll mix it up a little bit. There we go. So, pop, 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 and dot. Ooh, that looks cool. You can see. And I think I also want some blue. And since I already have the light blue all mixed up, I think I'll just use the light blue. And I'll put some light blue spots on. Now while I do this, let's take a vote. So on your screen, you will see a little voting box jump up. And what I'd like to know is what you would like to see me paint. So there's 3 options. So all you have to do, once you see the little voting box pop up, is choose which option you would like me to paint next. So we have an Easter Bunny, which we're working on, a marble swirl egg, or flowers. So what would you like to see me paint next? And I believe you might have about 60 seconds to make your decision while I keep painting. And I'm just adding some red here to our Easter egg. On each side. This is really fun looking. Oh, okay, so I see we've got some votes here. So far, flowers is winning. And I think we need a little bit more color on our egg. So I think I'll add some green to where the stripes are. So I'm going to go right over the white with our green. And I think that will look a little bit more like what I want it to look like. So you can see if you want to change your mind and change the color of something you've already painted, you can just let it dry and then paint right over it. And it works out just fine. There you go. Okay. So while that's drying and our other rock is drying, our Easter Bunny rock is drying, I'm going to go ahead and paint a flower. For those of you who voted, thank you so much. I love hearing from you. So I'm going to go ahead and give our flower a green stem. And maybe I'll just do some grass down here all together. So I'm painting the bottom of the rock with green because that's how the grass looks when the snow melts and it's all starting to get warmer out and springtime. You'll see flowers start to pop up. So here's our stem and our grass. And sometimes a leaf will come out of the stem, just like that. And all different flowers have all different shapes of leaves. And yours can be whatever you want it to be. And that's just what mine looks like, but you can make yours thinner or longer, whatever you'd like. Now I'm going to make my flower look like a tulip. And to make a tulip, I'm going to use the red paint. And I'm going to make 3 tulip petals. So I'll do one on the side, like that. I'll do one on the other side, like that. And then I'll do one in the center, just like that. And then I'll fill in the flower a little bit more so it looks more like a tulip. There we go. So we have our first spring flower. Now if you wanted to add more color to it, we could have painted the background of the rock blue or purple or yellow, whatever color you'd like. So really I could take this one that's already painted yellow and we could paint a flower over that and that'll give it some more color. But I think we want to do another Easter egg. So for this Easter egg, one of those options was to do a marbly effect with the paint. So let's try doing that and I'll show you. It's really easy. So let's pick a couple colors that we want to marble together. How about if we marble together blue and green? I think that'll look really pretty. So I'm going to use the broad brush and scoop out some blue. And we're just going to put the blue on the rock like that. And you can see there's quite a bit on there. And I'll wash out my brush. And I'm going to scoop out some green. And I'm going to put the green right over here. You can see, look, there's a lot on there. Now you don't have to put this much, but I'm putting a lot on so you can see in the camera what's going on. Now using your thin brush, this is the fun part. You kind of just start moving the blue into the green and the green into the blue. And there's no right and wrong way to do this. You just kind of squiggle your brush around. Maybe you want to take some of that blue and put it all the way up there. And this is working out really well with a yellow rock, because the blue and the green go really well with this yellow color. So you can use as many colors as you want in order to do this. I chose 2 just to kind of keep it simple. Now there is a point where you do want to stop marbling, because if you don't stop marbling, you might end up just mixing the paint. Instead of looking marbled, it will look like you've mixed 2 colors together. So we want to be sure that we keep areas within our rock that look, you can see some of the blue and some of the green. Ta-da! So this is a really easy and fun way to do an Easter egg that's marbled. And we'll put that one aside to dry. Okay, let's go back to our Easter bunny. So what we need to do now is add some detail to our rock, or to our shapes. And that way we'll be able to see that it's a bunny. So we're going to outline our shapes and add things like eyes and a little nose and the inside of its ears. So I'm going to first start by outlining our Easter bunny's ears. Here we go. And our bunny rabbit face. And if you don't feel like making an Easter bunny, that's okay. There's a lot of other options. We can think of some insects that you might see in the spring, like a ladybug maybe. And I just saw a bumblebee for the first time this season. It was a very friendly bumblebee. I was just happy that it was warm out. There we go. So while I'm painting, I'll just mention, I love seeing your artwork. So when we're done with this class, I would love to see what you painted. So you can ask an adult or an older friend if they have a social media account like Facebook or Instagram. You can take a picture of what you've painted and add it to our page. And we're almost done outlining our Easter bunny. So here's our outline of our Easter bunny so far. Let's give it some eyes. Hello. Now you can see. And I'm going to make it a heart-shaped nose. There you go. And our bunny's mouth, like that. And bunnies have whiskers, so boop, boop. We want to make some whiskers. Okay. And my Easter bunny is going to have an Easter egg belly. So I'll put a nice big oval in the belly. You can see his face. There you go. So let's make our Easter egg belly a different color. I would love to have a pink Easter egg belly. So we're going to mix two colors together like we did with our light blue. We're going to scoop out some white and then scoop out some red. And we'll mix those together and it will create pink. There we go. And we'll paint our belly pink. And then once it dries, we can add some stripes and some polka dots or anything else you'd like for your Easter egg belly or your Easter bunny. And I have one rack left that I haven't painted of this set. Now in this kit, you actually do get 10 racks. So far, we've painted almost 5, so then you'll have another 5 to paint whenever you'd like. And actually, I think we are not going to paint this one. We are going to add a decal to this one. So here, let's go ahead and do that. To use our decals, you'll need a pair of scissors. And all you have to do, let's see, which one should we use? Let's use, I think this rainbow will be perfect. So you just want to cut out which transfer you'd like to use. And the transfer has a protective sheet on it to keep it nice and clean. So you want to remove the protective sheet and then take your transfer and place it face down onto your rack. Now you want to take your sponge and get it a little bit wet. About that wet. And touch it to your transfer. And it's important that you leave it on long enough so the paper of the transfer gets nice and damp, and so it molds around the rack. And just dab it on. And you might want to do this over top your water cup just in case it drips. Okay. Now you want to kind of pick up the edge and see if it's transferred. And I can see mine is pretty much there. So I'm going to go ahead and take it off. And ta-da! We have our rainbow transferred onto our rack. Now I see a little bit of water still on here, so I'm going to use the dry side of the sponge and kind of just pick up the water so it's not sitting on top of the rack. There you go. All set. Now you can go ahead and use your fine tip brush and you can color in the lines of your transfer. So let's do that. We'll get our paint back over here. So my rainbow is going to have yellow and blue, well, yellow, orange, and red. So we'll put yellow first. Like that. And I'll just go ahead and open up my other colors that I'm going to use. Orange, red, and I'll do the clouds blue. So orange. So using the transfers is really helpful if you want to have some really nice, cute little line art on your rocks. They're really easy to use. And just a side note though, sometimes the transfers, if you do put your rocks outside for other people to find, sometimes the transfers might come off. So our paint stays on very well. But the transfers are made of a different material, so they might come off. But if you would like your transfer to stay on, you can ask an adult or an older friend to see if they have any clear nail polish or a clear varnish that they can paint over your rock once it's all dry. And that might help protect it from outdoor weather. Right, here's our cloud. Oh, this is so fun. And I think it's really fun for people to randomly find these beautifully painted rocks when they go on walks or as they're hanging out at the playground or in the park or even at school. And if you don't want to hide your rocks for other people to find, you can always just gift your rock to people that you think might need a little bit of cheering up. Or if you just want to give it to someone as a gift, you can definitely do that. All right. So now to finish up our bunny, our Easter bunny, I'll add, I think, my Easter egg in the center of our Easter bunny's belly is going to have a red heart. There we go. Okay. And I think that's it for our Easter bunny. You can keep going and maybe add a little bit of detail in our hands or our little feet or anywhere else. Maybe you want to give your Easter bunny a bow or a bow tie or add some grass around his legs or even some Easter eggs in the grass, maybe a sunshine. So you can add whatever else you'd like, or you can just start painting any of your other rocks as well. So let's just see, are there any other questions before we wrap things up? Doesn't look like it. Well, friends, thank you so much for joining us. This was a wonderful time painting rocks with you. So I hope you can join me again for our next class. Have a good day. Bye-bye. All right, friends, that was so much fun. Thank you all for being here with me. Look for an email soon on how you can watch the video again. And if you want to show us what you've created, please ask an adult to post it on our Creativity for Kids Facebook group or tag Creativity for Kids on Instagram. Thanks so much.